Hi friends. So I get a lot of questions from chartered accountants and CA pursuing students of how powerful is their CA degree plus the ACCA degree. Okay, and how does ACCA value add if you're already a chartered accountant? Does it help with better jobs? Does it help with better roles? How easy or quick is it to do the ACCA exams? So I thought I'm going to quickly create a video and answer all these questions for you. So we'll start with the first question, which is the most popular question from students is ACCA a complementing qualification if you're, let's say, a chartered accountant, or if you're semi-qualified, let's say, a CA inter student? Well, to answer that, the CA qualification is got a very domestic focus. It's got a very India focus, and it makes you very strong from an Indian context. Accounting हो गया, laws हो गए, taxes हो गए. So it makes you very strong from an Indian context. But what ACCA does, it adds an entire layer of global perspective, which the CA curriculum lacks. Now, this global perspective is very, very important today because जो आज का 21st century employer है, if you look at any big MNC, if you look at any of the big four, if you look at any of these multinational companies that operate across the world and in India, they all want global perspective for their work to be done. So ACCA adds that missing piece, if I may so call it, and therefore CA, which is a very strong local qualification, plus ACCA, which is a very strong global qualification, becomes a very kick-ass combination for students today. The next big question is, does it open any new doors of opportunity with respect to jobs? Well, to answer that, the ACCA qualification is done by students in 179 countries across the world, and India में भी हर साल 20 से 25,000 students ACCA शुरू करते हैं. So if you are somebody who's aspiring to work in the Big Four, if you're somebody who's aspiring to work in large MNCs in India, if you're somebody who's aspiring to travel abroad and work in one of the very, the financial capitals of the world, whether it's Europe, whether it's Dubai, whether it's, Singapore or such countries, then ACCA becomes your passport to travel. Okay. So if you're working in a small organization and looking at migrating into a bigger organization, or you're already working in a big organization and you want more diverse roles, more complex, more roles that involve leadership, or if you're somebody who's in India and you want to seek opportunities across the world, then ACCA is really the way to go. The next big question is, how many papers you need to do in the ACCA exams if you're a CA inter or if you're a chartered accountant? Well, interestingly, as you see on the screens, ACCA has got a total of 13 papers to do. Okay, split into 3 papers in the knowledge level, 6 papers in the skills level, and 4 papers in the professional level. And as you see on your screens, in the professional level, you will see 2 compulsory papers and 2 optional papers. Now, the ACCA supports CA intern and CA students extensively, and this is how they do it. Now, if you're a chartered accountant, you've cleared your CA final board group, the ACCA exempts you from 9 papers. मतलब आपको first 9 papers नहीं देने हैं, you only need to give the last 4 papers, which is the professional level. Okay? And if you are a CA inter student, then the ACCA exempts you from a minimum of 6 papers. मतलब जो first 4 papers हैं, 6th paper है और 8th paper है, वो आपको नहीं करना है. Okay? As a bare minimum, which means you have to do paper 5, paper 7, paper 9, and you have to do the last 4 papers. Now, in certain cases, if you have a great score, let's say you attempted your CA final exams and you didn't make it for some reason, and if you've got a plus 40 score either in FR or in FM or in costing, sometimes they even give you exemptions in paper 5 or 7 or 9, which is on a case-to-case basis. So like I said, as a bare minimum, you will get 6 exemptions, but those exemptions could increase on a case-to-case basis if your CA final results are submitted to the ACCA. Right? So the good news is that you don't need to do all papers. It's really a fast-track route for semi-qualified and chartered accountants. The next question is, how different are ACCA exams compared to the CA exams? Well, ACCA exams or CA exams में बहुत difference है, and for a few reasons. Number one, unlike the CA exams that happen twice a year, and you have a concept of groups, right? So you have to give one group of 4 papers, 2 groups of 8 papers. The ACCA exams don't happen that way. They happen 4 times a year. So that's March, June, September, and December. So there are 4 exam windows. Now, there is no concept of groups, and the ACCA allows you to do as many papers as you are comfortable in one exam setting. So you can give one, you can give two, you can give three, you can give up to 4 papers in one exam sitting. Okay. Now, what most students do is, because I understand that most of them are also working alongside, you at least land up doing one paper every exam sitting. So let's say you do one paper in March, one in June, one in September, one in December. That's the way you progress. Now, because you're doing one paper at a time, your entire focus and concentration on that paper is super high, which also increases the the possibilities that you'll pass that paper. And once you've cleared that paper, it's out. You never ever have to appear it again. So there is no concept of groups. Number two, all the ACCA exams are completely online. There's absolutely no paper and pen. So you actually go to an exam center and they will give you a system to work on. Alternatively, the ACCA has also now made it possible for you to take exams from home. So you can remotely take exams from home if you have the basic IT infrastructure in place, and they're fabulously comfortable to do. Now, all exams are on the system, which means certain papers will have multiple choice. Some parts of the papers will be structured. In the structured parts, you will actually see an Excel sheet drop down where you need to crunch numbers. Certain questions, there will actually be a Word document where you need to actually input your answer. Certain questions may have a PowerPoint slide and you may have to probably present a presentation. So the exams are very cutting edge. They are very 21st century. It's exactly the way you would do at a workplace. When you're at your workplace and you are faced with a situation, how do you use modern day tools? That's exactly what the exam focuses on. There is no focus on handwriting. There is no focus on presentation. There is no focus on rote learning whatsoever. There is no focus on memory. It's only and only application. Furthermore, the papers, unlike the CA exams, are far more case study based. So the focus is only on the way you can analyze, interpret, apply, and most importantly, express. Okay. Now, just to give you an example, the strategic business leader paper, which is paper number 10. In fact, the paper arrives 2 weeks before the exam, right? It's a 100-mark case study, and they give you the situation, they give you the industry 2 weeks before. You can actually work on it for 2 weeks, and then you go to the exam and perform the task. So that's how modern the exams are, and what they're really trying to prepare you for, what they're really trying to test and assess, is the way you would handle a situation if you were at a workplace, right? So when you go to your workplaces, at every level, you're going to be faced with some or the other kind of challenge. Challenges could involve thinking in a multidisciplinary manner. Challenges could be with respect to the way you express. Challenges could be with the way you negotiate. Challenges could be the way you handle various stakeholders. And these are aspects not covered so much in depth in CA exams, and that is why when you attempt these exams, every paper is a world of an experience. And when you add that layer to your already very solid CA qualification, what you emerge as is very, very sought after profession. So how much time would it take to do ACCA if you're already a chartered accountant or if you're CA interqualified? If you're a chartered accountant, since you need to do 4 papers, you can actually finish it in, and you have to do one paper at a time. You can actually finish it in one sitting if you do all 4 papers, but that's too much to expect. So typically, if you do one paper at a sitting, you can take 1 year. But if you're faster, you can even complete it in 6 or 9 months. If you're CA interqualified, you need to do a bare minimum. You're exempt from 6 papers, which means you need to do a bare minimum of 7 papers. और अगर उससे ज़्यादा exemptions मिला, तो you are lucky. So generally, CA Inter students I've seen are able to finish the entire ACCA in a span of about 1.5 years. And all of this with your work. It is absolutely possible to study and work together if done systematically. So how can we help with synthesis learning? We can design an entire comprehensive journey for you from the beginning till you actually qualify as an ACCA. We can counsel you, we mentor you, we coach you, we can help you get placed. And most importantly, ACCA body gives a lot of discounts to us, which we are very happy to pass on to you, especially with respect to the exempted papers. You need to pay an exemption fees, which the rack rates of which are very high. Now, we have a lot of interesting discounts that are given to us by the ACCA because we are gold learning partners with the ACCA, and we pass it on to the students, so we can also try to make it as cost effective as you would like to. So, if you're a chartered accountant or if you're CA interqualified and you want to add this super amazing cutting edge ACCA qualification to your credentials, come speak to us and we can help.